up there is the sun. Not doing ever so well on sunshine today. Yeah, we can see something shining in your eye. I think it's either a cobweb or a hair. Morning. What a stunning morning. Hey up Woodlanders, welcome to another woodlog. And if you're new around here, welcome aboard. Today we on the cards, we've got to get ready for a hazel hurdle training course tomorrow. Tomorrow's Saturday. I don't like working Saturdays, but well, needs must and all that. I've got to pay for my chainsaw trousers somehow. But I've got some hazel in the trailer. I've got to just finish off. That's what we got from Jeff's the other day. So I've just got to tidy that up and cut those to lengths. And then I've got to pre-split some hazel. Normally I wouldn't do that, but on a couple of the courses I've done, some really struggle to get all of their hazel split and get it all woven into a panel. So the lady who books the course, she says why not bring some pre-split hazel. So I do that. So I'll spend a couple of hours pre-splitting some rods. It just means then that when and if they do struggle, they've got some hazel that's already there ready, and they can have a good go at riving on their own, and the rest they can do with the stuff I've done. We've had some setbacks this week. Karen went out in our little old car and the clutch disintegrated. The garages wanted what I thought was extortionate money really for a clutch on an old car. So anyway, what me and my brother decided we're going to do it ourselves. So we did, and all was going okay. We realised that there was a drive shaft issue, so we tried to get the drive shaft back in and it wouldn't go in. And the drive shaft had actually, one of the bearings had seized, so we had to order a new drive shaft, but thankfully that wasn't very expensive. So we put a new drive shaft on, we put a new starter motor on because that was playing up, and we put a new clutch in which got a decent quality clutch. And then I couldn't get the pedal to be right, and the clutch would work but it wouldn't release, so I had no choice but to take the whole lot all back off again, all the gearbox and everything. And I managed it and it went fairly smoothly, and I realised that I'd left a piece of plastic on the output shaft of the clutch. If you're not mechanically minded, that will mean absolutely nothing to you. Safe to say the piece of plastic shouldn't have been there, so I took it off, put everything back together again, and we are tickety-boo, which is fantastic. Our little old 22-year-old car is back up and running with lots of new shiny parts. But thankfully we managed to get to the APF. That was the important thing. I was concerned that all of this DIY mechanics was going to lead me to miss the APF, which I would have been absolutely gutted about. But if you went to the APF, I'd be interested in your comments on it, because I sort of had mixed feelings. Over the one 4 years ago I didn't particularly enjoy. I just didn't enjoy it. I don't know why. I've said before I always love the APF, and I do love it, but not as much as I have done in previous years. They definitely pulled out the stops. There was definitely a lot more traders there. But the sad thing I thought was the fact that there was no demonstration ring in the woods. Now, I've heard a rumour about why that was the case, but I won't launch it here on social media because I don't think it's very fair to the people involved if it's true. But suffice to say, it was a bit of a letdown. It meant that the demonstration area was all in the open. And that's okay, but I mean, if you go to a woodland show, you want to walk through the woods and you want to smell the pine chips, and so I thought it was a real shame. And maybe I'm hoping that the next APF, either they change the site if the situation hasn't been resolved, or they manage to find themselves an half decent bit of woodland to walk through. However, they did manage to cram the demonstration area into quite a nice bit. You got like the traders area and the static displays, and then you had to cross through into another field through this sort of small gateway into the next bit, and then there was all this Harris fencing kind of stopping, so you had no choice but to walk all the way around, which I thought was, it was an awful lot of walking, I thought. But anyway, that aside, I did thoroughly enjoy it. I didn't particularly see any kit that I needed or wanted, and I haven't got any money anyway. But you know where sometimes you look and think, oh, there's some nice ideas, be nice that, or that's given me an idea of how to make things more simple or less manual for me, but I honestly didn't see anything that stuck out. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I managed to catch up with some people that I already knew and some people that I've never met before. So great to see you guys, and thanks for catching up. Really enjoyed that. I don't know whether you noticed, this time of year is spider season, because you get the dew on the ground with all the glistening bits of dew on them. It makes fantastic photography, but they're just a bit of a nuisance when they get in your face. We're almost there. Got a few bits at home to put in yet, charge up with battery drills and a few other bits and bobs, and I think we're all sorted for our course tomorrow. You happy with it?
Yeah, very. I'm relieved.
Yeah.
No, it's good crowd today, thank you. No, it's good. All nice people.
First one. Oh, only second.
It's just a double, is it?
Look at them.
Cool, aren't they? Morning. How you diddling? This morning's job, we are back on cutting some maiden hazel coppice this morning. You can see in the background we've made a bit of a start. Karen and I came up early start this morning when we dodged the showers, and then we got absolutely soaked, which wasn't nice. This is hazel that we planted when we first got the Woodland. These have had 10 years in the ground, which is not bad, and we've had a couple of little odd harvests off them in the form of binders, but now we want stakes and binders to fill this order, so I won't bother cutting any more binders for other orders because we just struggle to get them. So we'll dress these rods and see what we can get out of them. You know, it's freezing. We had our first fire the other day. So cold. Normally we don't break the fire out until October, but the other night, which a couple of hours, just knocked the chill off the house. Of course you daren't flick the gas on anymore. Turning chilly, it really is. Next job, dress some binders. We'll go and split those, shall we? Right, home time. And I'm ready for it today. It's getting old. Let's go. So this is our fence repair. Got to put new zails in and do a new fresh weave, deconstruct that side. So what's happened is they've snapped there, look. Couple at the bottom have snapped out, look. And what happens, because the bottom ones are snapped out, what happens then is the bottoms tend to drop, and then it sort of gets all saggy, a bit like that, and then the other ones fall out then. But anyway, we'll repair it, and that'll be done. Don't dry this at home. Don't know whether you can see that just there. That was a horse chestnut. I planted that when we first moved up here, and it's dead opposite our boundary line. And every year the farmer comes along and flails it, and he's just gone and done it again. And I thought to myself, maybe I should put some flicker tape round it. Sometimes they acknowledge that, hedge flailers do, and they won't flail the tree if it's got some sort of marking tape on it. But anyway, I've missed the boat again, and he's gone and flailed it again, which is rather disappointing. Morning! It's a bit chilly this morning. So, today is, I've got to get some hedge lane stakes in the trailer, we've got to finish cutting some binders, we've got to bind the binders, bundle the binders? Probably, aye, bundle the binders. Get them loaded up, then we've then got to deliver them to Markfield, which is Colville, Leicester way. The forecast torrential rain this afternoon, so that could stop play. Just got to strap these down and we're all ready for this particular delivery. Jeff is the chap I work for over at Rossiston. I work in his coppice. Hey up Jeff, because I know you're listening. He recommended to me another channel that he watches on YouTube. I think I've made him into a bit of a YouTube addict, which I'm sorry about, Jeff. I didn't mean to do that. There's a chap he follows called Ollie's Blogs, or Ollie Blogs I think it is, and he's a farm contractor. And I thought, well, I'll take a look at his channel. And I think he does a bit of a daily farm blog. One thing that I found fascinating about his channel is apparently some while ago he did something about men's mental health and how blokes tend not to talk too much about their feelings and their sort of mental state and how well they're doing. But what he did, he had a percentage chart. So 100% meant that you were absolutely ready to conquer the world, and the lower the percentage was just generally how you felt about life and how you were coping with it. So he does, I think he does a daily percentage. He gets his followers to give their percentage on how they're doing, and that's all it is. It's just a percentage of how you do. Anyway, today it just made me think. Yesterday I was probably at about a 70%, but today I feel quite like 90%. Now I don't want to trounce on his idea, but I just thought it was an interesting thought. If you want to comment, by all means let me know. What percentage are you on this week or today when you watch the video? And I think it just raises a little bit of awareness that we're not always feeling 100%. Let me know what you think anyway. Thanks for that. A nice little story yesterday. We were at Ellie Ray's school and they'd organised a cycling tournament with some local schools. Anyway, in amongst all that waffle, what I was going to say was, it was really nice to see. So there wasn't many parents there, unfortunately. You saw them disappear off onto this circuit, through the woodland, back out the other side, and you just knew that that last little bit they were really flagging. There was a couple of kids who, I would say cycling was not their main event, but they tried ever so hard, and it was really interesting that as they come round the corner, and we all started cheering them on, you know, keep going and keep pedaling, and you're doing well and fast as you can, and don't stop pedaling. And the little faces all lit up, and they actually spurred them on to go even faster. I just thought it was really nice to see that, and to see that what encouragement can do for kids. So I've got a little mission for you this week. Try and encourage someone this week. Try and give them some commendation, give them some words of encouragement. Notice what they do, see that they've done it really well, so that they've tried really hard to do their best. So just give them a little pat on the back, encourage them and say well done. There's a little mission for you. Anyway. Ever since we got the Woodland, we've had a wildlife camera. I think it's called LTL Acorn. It's okay, but I managed to capture some odd bits this year. Now I thought what I'll do is when I capture something that's of interest, I'll share it on the woodlog. So I'm just about to change the SD card, because I've worked out it's easier to change the SD card out of the camera than it is to keep bringing the camera home all the time. The camera that we've got, when you open it up, the screen goes all fuzzy because the connection wires are all dodgy. But if you've got any advice for a half decent wildlife camera you recommend, something that does 1080p really, because this one does 720. Not very good really, bit grainy as you'll see. And now my phone's going off. Is it a Bushnell people go on about? I've no experience with them, and I think Bushnells are pretty expensive. You see how the budget stretches. And so we have come to the conclusion of another woodlog. If you're able to, I really hope you get out into the woods this week, try and enjoy some woodland goodness again. We'll see you on the next one.